Hello and welcome to the Tarkis Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about Timberborn. And yes, I did a video on this for my Time Waster series a little while back, and I want to do another one. I want to put your eyes back on this product because it's really a fun game. And it will be added to my Time Waster series. So let's look at it real quick. We're at the store page, the Steam store page. And it just shows you some highlights of the game, tells you about the game. What I want to show you is I got 635 hours into this game, and it's only $20 on Steam. Well worth the money. The developers are continuously updating the product, so it hasn't been just left behind. It's a city building game. If you like those kind of games, it's a single player game. So let's start it up right now. And we'll look at it. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you the map editor. We're going to make a map together, and then we're going to play that map. And then I'm going to probably do a few videos on the progress of that map. So here we are. This is the main screen. And what I want to do is I want to go to create new map. Now the game, and we're just going to go with the default size to make it a little difficult. And the nice thing about the game, it's got some pre-selected maps that the developers made. And then here you can make your own map. So here, there's nothing on the terrain. So we're going to need to add a water source. And the best way to do that is to get rid of some of this material. And you'll see this thing where it says flatten. If I click here, it gets rid of the material down to the hard rock bed. So right now, the ground is defaulting, I think, what is that, about 5 high or 3 high? That's like 3 high. It looks like it's, and we're able to pull that out. So if I were to add a water source, that's what this thing is right here on the bottom where I'm highlighting. If I put a water source in there and then go up here and push play, what's going to happen is that's going to fill up with water. But what will eventually happen is it will overflow because there's no outlet for the water. And anywhere you see green is where we'll be able to plant crops. And then, as you can see, the water is just going to continuously until it fills the map. So we've got to have you have to have an outlet for the water. So when you're making your map. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to this here, and we're going to reduce the size of it to 1. And we're going to just do this, put a channel through here to the edge of the map. Until I get to the edge of the map. Now the water's got some place to go. And what it's going to do is going to empty. Because see how quickly it's emptying? Because there's nothing stopping it from just pouring out this back end. So now what we want to do is we want to add material, and it defaults to the 5. So we're going to go to 1, and we want it 1 to 1. So now I can go up 1 block. That means water will get backstopped against that 1 block until it flows over. So basically, I believe we're, I think it's only, yeah, so we're only 3 tiles. We could have raised the topography up more than the 3 blocks that it defaulted with, because it's only the dirt is only 3 blocks deep, and that's fine for right now. But if I went to here and I could make a mountain here where I can raise the topography if I want in the map builder, but that's not what this video is going to be about. I'm just doing a basic little map here. So now that we've got water is the key source of survival for the beavers, because that's what you are as a beaver. What I want to do is, I think what I want to do here is I want to, just to make it simple, we can just go this way here and this way here. That gives us some more green area to play with when we've got water. Now the system has a drought mechanism where things will dry up, and you'll have to work with the water management when we get into the game. So now we've got a good portion of the land here that's green. The rest of it's desert. Now, depending on which faction you choose, you could choose the easy environmental faction that allows you to do water wells, and you can put green water, or you put water out where you can turn the land green. We're going to play the industrial faction, which is a harder faction to play because I do enjoy playing them. What I'm going to also do here is, no, I'm going to stop there with that. We're going to now need to put the town hall in. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to, just for the sake of this, I'm going to put the town hall here. This is the beginning starting hall that you begin with. You can place it anywhere you want. I could put it here. I could put it here. You only can have one. I'm going to put it here. That's going to force me to have to build a bridge to get to this rest of this land. All right. So now the other resources that we need to start with is some trees. And I'm just going to put some pines down. And I'm going to put some pines here, because you got to do it in places where it's green or there'll be dead pines. Because if I do out here, see how they turn dead? So these will be dead trees. They'll still be harvestable, but you won't be able to regrow them if that's what you want to do. So I'm just adding some trees to the outer section here. I'll put maybe some trees here, a patch of trees here, and just a patch of trees here. But what's going to make this map hard is the lack of green space, because I'm going to be playing the industrial faction, so I won't be able to create it unless I move water, and I'll be able to show that later on. We're not going to be talking about housing water in other structures right now outside of the water tanks. We'll talk about that at another time. So I put the trees in. The other thing we're going to need to do is put some mature blueberries down. So where are the blueberries? Birch, chestnut. Oh, it wouldn't hurt to put some chestnut trees down, because you can make food out of the chestnut trees. I'll put those here, just a patch of chestnut patches, and I'll probably, for easy, just to be kind of easy, I want to put some blueberries just probably right here and right here. So that kind of puts my pickers all in one location. I guess I could put some blueberries here if I want, and some here, but I think that's good. So we've got an easy food source, the blueberries and the chestnuts for food early on. We'll be able to do other foods as we move on. So the next thing I think we're lacking, the only thing that we're going to be lacking, is the metal foundations. I'll put them here. These are just metal structures, because the beavers will be able to get their tech tree up, and you'll be able to utilize these ruins that I'm making. So we're going to make it really ruin a lot of these, places that we can collect the metal, because we could be able to collect this metal, and then we'll be able to make that metal into robots. And that's what I want to show you eventually with this. So I guess I've done everything. Actually, I probably, because I don't want to remove too much dirt, I want to go here, because there is a mechanism where you can remove dirt in the game. But there's a few structures. This is even going to make it harder for me. Well, yeah, I won't be able to get to this food here until I make a bridge across here. So let's. So what I'll probably do is put a patch over here. Yeah, I'll put a patch over there, or I could go around. I probably could go around and get there. We'll try that. That's not a problem. But the reason why I did this was I want to add more lake space, just for a couple things. Yeah, I just want some more lake space. Like a lake. I'm kind of making it squared off, which is fine. So I don't think I'm going to be able to make a road to get over to this food source. I'll have to build a bridge. That's going to take me some time to build a bridge. We'll see that. So I'm just going to put another food source, blueberries. I'll probably just put it right here. And this way I'll start off with those blueberries, and then we'll see how we go. I think we've got everything we need. We got the trees, we got blueberries. We got the metal. I don't think we need anything more. The topography is flat. So what we're going to do here, we're going to do a save as, and we're going to name this We Hate Tarkis. Okay, this map is called We Hate Tarkis. All right. So now let's exit the editor and say yes. And again, you can play. I want this faction here because this is a tougher faction to be than this faction here. This is the faction they start you with when you play the game. You got to get to a certain level in happiness. And so let's go to next. And then you can play this. They've got these made up maps the developers made. We're going to scroll down to the one that we created. We Hate Tarkis. It's going to be the last one because it starts with a W. We'll go to normal. Why not, right? Let's go to normal. It does take a moment to, again, we're going to call this We Hate Tarkis. This is the We Hate Tarkis town. Okay, we're going to hit OK. So all the things that you put on the map need to be connected somehow to this town hall. So you got to put a road in. And what we're going to do is I'm going to just bring a road to here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a road to here. And I'm going to get the wood production started. So I'm going to go down here to the screen here where you've got these options at the very bottom. And I'm going to go to the wood option. And what we want is a lumberjack flag. And we're going to put 2 of those in. But now we also need to tell it what we want it to cut. So you go to the icon down here, cut trees. Go to this symbol here to cut the trees. And you tell them the portion that you want cut. Because there's trees in this game that you might not want them to cut. So the next thing we want to do is we want to get access to these blueberries. Now there's not a lot of these blueberries. So we're going to need to get a farm up quickly. We're going to need to prioritize that. And then the blueberries are done with the food icon down here. And what you want is a gatherer flag, somebody who to gather those. We're going to put 2 of those. We probably don't need 2 of those to begin with. And then we need to collect water. So we're going to need to build and go to the water thing here at the bottom. And we want to build a deep water pump. And you hit the R or the Q or it's just R. The Q and the E move the map around. Or you can move the map around with the mouse button too, holding the mouse button down. So the question is, where do I want to put my water source, my water collection source? I think what I want to do is put my first one here to utilize this corner. Again, you have to have the road connect to it. And there you go. So that is connected. So we've got water, so what we're going to do is up here at the top, we're going to speed it up to triple speed. So this is as fast as the game plays. So right now I got some people, not people, but beavers, because that's what they are, beavers. I play so many of these building games, let's say people, because in most of these city building games, you do have just people doing it for you. So now they're building, and what happens is this structure has 2 beavers in it to start with, and these are your builders. I can tell the game, I can tell it to do 2 more beavers as builders. I've only got 1 beaver, as you can see over here on this screen. It tells me I've got 7 adult beavers, I've got 4 children, and then I've got 7 beavers working, and then I've got no beavers available, and I've got no housing. Everybody's going to be sleeping on the ground. So we need to figure out 2 things. We need housing, and we need the ability to make more beavers. Because this faction, you actually have to incubate them in a breeding pod, which makes this faction a little harder than the other faction. But the first thing I'm going to do is going to think about where I want to put my housing. I'm thinking, why not put it in a location that is not that valuable to me? Because I don't want to put it on green, because that's valuable real estate for growing. So what I'm going to do is going to go to housing here at the bottom. I've only got 2 options because I haven't unlocked the other housing because of my tech tree not being there. And I'm going to put a house right there. And I probably, for sakes of getting around, I'll put a. Putting the roads down is easy. You just choose the road here. It's under this icon, path structures. You got the road, and you just drag it across. So right now we need to start a farm. We got to get the farm going. So the question is where do I want to put the farm? I'm going to put the farm here on this corner. Actually, I'm going to bring it to this here because you can see with the blue, it's if I move this around, its reach is the blue. So I just want to put it in a strategic location so that I get the most out of the green. So okay, so I've got that in there. I've only got one extra worker. I do need to get this going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it plant. You've got to go to the bottom here. You can plant trees or you can plant crops. I want to plant crops. Your trees are planted by this guy here, the forester. It's under the wood. But you got to unlock that through tech. So we haven't got access to plant trees or anything yet. So we're going to plant the crops. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with potatoes. Potatoes seem to be a good beginner one. You'll have to build a cook camp, and we'll go over that. So I'm just going to do that for now. So what happened was as soon as that farmhouse got built, my workers filled the roles. I'm going to also up here go to workplace. I'm going to give it these double up, meaning it's a priority. That means that if I got beavers that die or beavers that don't want to work, they're going to prioritize this building. So I'll always have somebody in that building. I'm going to do the same thing with the water up here. I'm going to prioritize it. And this way I make sure that no matter what happens, there's always going to be if there's a beaver alive, is going to be a beaver in that water collection. And I'm going to do it also for just one of these gatherers. I don't need both of them to be on. So right now I've got two children. So I'm going to have to now, I've got only 2 children. They're going to become adults. And then I'm going to have some beavers that will die of old age. So I've got to start making more beavers. And I'm going to do it right here. And when they build these pods, once they get built, the pods themselves require ingredients to run them. They require berries and they require water. All right. So now I've got one adult. One of those children had become an adult. So we need to give them a task. What I want to do is I want to get the science going. If you go down here to science and go to inventor, and just put one inventor shack down, and that once that gets built, that's where that guy, because we need to get some science points going for me to be able to plant my own trees, to make bridges, to get to other assets. I've really locked myself in here because I can't just make a road over the water here. What you hear there with that that noise every once in a while is my happiness going up. Right now my happiness is, or well-being is 4. All right. What are we going to do here? What are we going to do next? All right, so this inventor shack is now running. Oh, I've got another extra worker. So what do I want to do? Probably make that food cook. So I go to the food, and the grill is what I need. So I'm going to go to the grill, and I think for the sake of making this easy to keep things together, I'm going to put the grill here, and they're going to need to make it, construct it, but I need to also tell it what I want it to cook. And I want to have it cook grilled potatoes, because that's what this field is potatoes. And right now, the potatoes are only at 45%. Now, we're going to need to put the potatoes in something when they come out of the field. So we need to make a storage. Go to storage here. It's right here at the bottom. I want the medium warehouse because they give me access to that. I'm going to put it right here in this corner. And then from this warehouse, I got to tell it what I want them to put in there. So I go to this question mark, and I need to tell it I want to put my potatoes in there. So I've got to find potatoes, and I believe that's here. It's potatoes. So now when they harvest these potatoes, they'll go into this warehouse, and this warehouse can hold 200 potatoes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another. Oh, my guys are asking for water. So I'm at 0 water. So I'm going to probably have to make another water. I'll do it right here. I probably should do some water storage too. So why don't let's go back to the storage here. I'm going to put cooked potatoes in this one, and that's here. Grilled potatoes. So this one holds the raw potatoes. This one holds the cooked potatoes. This grill makes the cooked potatoes, and this farm grows the raw potatoes. So the potato is all in this location. So I'm going to make some water storage. So if you go to storage, you'll go to here. They only give you this option, this first one here. And I'm going to put it here next to the water. And I'm going to put a couple of them down. And again, because they're a storage unit. All right, why is everybody so unhappy? This guy should be pumping out water. I'm going to prioritize this build. Because now, before something gets built, you can prioritize that it's the first thing to build by just clicking, and then prioritize a person. So right now I've prioritized both these to make sure there's somebody always in them. And I think they now have enough water, and their food's getting down. But the food shouldn't be a problem because we would Johnny on the spot here. The potatoes are 80%. All right, so we got to tell these containers what they're going to hold. We're going to tell you water. There's only 3 options. There's water, medicine, and maple syrup. And for now, we want to tell it to hold water. So this one is already filled. So right now, our water up here at the top, it tells us what our global statistics are. I've got no food. I've got 20 logs, and I've got 21 water. And the logs here, I'll extend the road here. These guys should be able to reach all those. Yeah, that's not a problem. So the next thing we've got to do is we're going to need to make a bridge to get to some of these other bridges to get to the other assets. So the thing with that is that means I got to make a 2 things have to happen. I've got to make planks. And I need to unlock the bridge. All right. So the thing down here, if you go to pathways, you can see I've got to unlock these bridges. Or these are the bridges here, but these are just platforms. And I'd like to use the platforms and not the bridges because the platforms are just easier to deal with. And I need 100 science points. And I've only got 49 science points. Oh, what's everybody running? Oh, it's the food. I've run out of food. Everybody's hungry now. Everybody's mad. Everybody hates Tarkis because they don't have the food. So what I'm going to do is tell these guys to prioritize harvesting. So harvest first before you plant anymore. And I've got to prioritize the cook shack here with a person. Got to do it because I got to make food. So I've got to prioritize, and that might mean that my science guy, no, my science guy's there. Who did I take? Well, he came from somewhere. So right now I've prioritized the cook grill. I've prioritized the farm. And the grill should now produce enough food. Yeah, it's producing enough food so these guys are not going to hate me anymore. So now I've got water, got food. I've got 1 place for them to sleep. I still got 5 homeless. So that means I still have 5 people that don't have a place to sleep. But I've got to prioritize the lumber and let me go to wood. I've got to make a lumber mill. I got to have at least one of those going. But the lumber mill requires power. So I'm going to put the lumber mill. Actually, I'm going to go to the power first. I'm going to do a hamster wheel. They call it a power wheel in this game, but it's really it's a glorified hamster wheel. I'm going to put the hamster wheel. Oh, I got to face it. Yeah, I want to face it this way. You can use the R to move it around. Put the hamster wheel in. Then I'll put the lumber mill in. And then I've got to run a road to it. So right now, they'll now convert the logs to planks, which will be great. Now this guy here has this little thing above his head because his teeth need sharpening. He's got a broken tooth. So I need to go to well-being, and then I've got to go to teeth grind, and I've got to put one of these in. And I'm going to put this somewhere close. I'm going to put it right here on this corner. So right now, after they make that, they will they'll be able to grind their teeth. So now they got plenty of food. They've got plenty of water. We're just about to go into a drought in 3 days. That's what this blinking red is. It's going to tell me there's a drought coming in 3 days. So collect as much water as I can. All right, so I'm back up to 75 points there for 75 points for 78 points for the tech points. All right, so let's go to paths. To unlock this platform, I need 100 and 150 for that one, 200 for this one. This one ideally is the one we want because this one is 3. We know that the terrain is 3 deep, 1, 2, 3 blocks deep. So this triple platform would be what we want. So we'd want 200 points, but we can't wait to get it. We'll have to stack. We'll have to stack the other platform, the one for 100 points. We'll just stack a few of those on top of each other. All right, so I've got 4 children in the pods that need to be born because right now I'm lacking workers because some have died from old age or grown up or they haven't died of old age yet. I only got 11 workers. So that means the power wheel doesn't have somebody, and that means this won't have anybody either. So I've got to get my workers, getting my population up should be my next priority. I do have quite a bit of water, so I should be able to not put this back to normal priority. I'm going to prioritize this, and I'm going to prioritize this. That's the dance here so that means my inventor shack won't have somebody in it. And I can reduce my builders to only 1 builder. So now I've only got 1 builder. Because I don't need to build too much right now because I've built the basic buildings and now I'm waiting for my population, and my population is what's slowing me down. But I need to get the planks made so that I can make the bridges. So I've only got to wait 2 more points for the inventor to give me what I need. All right, I'm going to put these guys back to prioritize planting, prioritize harvesting. What's the other one? I thought there was 3. I guess it's not. So I'm going to go back to prioritize because I got plenty of food right now. Plenty of food. So I got to make sure that they plant food. And I probably are going to need another farmhouse here to do this land because I definitely going to need more farmers. So I got some beavers still sleeping outside. These hobos, they're sleeping outside because I haven't made them, but I don't want to. This is the wood that I've got to deal with, what I've made here, because I'm locked out of these others. I mean, I bet I could get to these without a problem. Now the drought is in, so during the drought, the water, you start utilizing the water. See, I'm pulling the water out of the ground and using it. And this thing that makes the water stop during a drought won't make water. So the green, as you can see, all this field is now in gray. And so during droughts, that's what's going to happen is your crops are going to die because they're not getting water naturally from the... All right, so I got 13 planks. All right, I'm going to go back to telling this to be a priority. I'm going to tell that to be a priority. This is a priority still. This is a priority still. What do we got here going on here? Those are still priorities. All right, so I just need to get the 2 points going. And then what I'm going to do is put a bridge or a platform right there. So that's going to happen this time around. So we're going to utilize this wood here. That's what's left of the wood that I can get at. I probably could get at these here by just going over here. I bet I could do that. But I'll just wait until I get... Okay, I got 105 now, so I'm just going to buy this for the science points. And then here, I'm going to put 3 of them in. So they're going to build 3 of those high. And this way I can put my road right across. Now, if I had bought this one here, I'd only have to put 1 in because it's triple platform. It's 3 high. What I did is just stacked 3 of the single platforms to get me to over here, where I can now harvest these chestnuts and these berries, and I'll need a gatherer flag here. Put 1 here, and I'll put 1 here. So 2 gathering flags will help me gather these items. And then what I can do is then move this road here and put a lumberjack in. Only need 1 lumberjack, I think, for this small. Then I'm going to tell it I want you to cut these trees. I don't want them to cut these here because these are a food source. But these here are not a food source. So the drought's over. That's why you're seeing the green. So these here, these chestnuts, are a food source. So the gatherer will collect the chestnuts, and you'll be able to cook those chestnuts. So really, this is when I've utilized all this wood here, I've taken it from the land. I can destroy these lumberjack flags because they won't have access to wood anymore or those trees unless I go down this way. We'll figure that out as we get there. So right now, my biggest setback is laborers. I've got food, I've got water, I've got everything I need to survive. So the other thing we want to do is make another storage facility for the berries. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to say I want the berries. That's these berries here. The easiest way when you go to storage and make a new storage facility, click on it. Just when you click on this question mark, just see what's taking up space. I mean, looks like I've got these potatoes. So now I've got 2 things that hold potatoes. That's really it. I mean, this flag is not filled yet because I'm waiting for laborers. That flag is not filled with laborers. That flag is not filled because I'm waiting for laborers. But again, I can once they consume these trees, I can actually get rid of one of these. I'm going to delete this one. You get some materials back from deleting an object, so that frees up that worker to go slide in somewhere else. And it looks like they slide it in here into gatherers. I don't really need them in gathering. I need them in wood collection, but that's fine. I've got 16 wood. And we can make a wood depot. I don't need to make a wood depot. That's this here large industrial pile that allows you to house to store the wood. Oh, geez, I could put one in. It's just that I don't really need one because I use the wood. I've always found that I use the wood so quickly that I don't really need to store it. I don't need to store it because I'm always using it. Oh, I should make more housing. Let's do that so people aren't living in the street. So let's go here and put 2 more housing blocks in. And here, I also want to think about entertainment because I've only got well-being at 3. So if I go to well-being, there's this campfire that you can make. And this brings up happiness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the back side of these storage facilities. I'm going to put, well, I want to delete that. I didn't want to do that. So I'm going to put a road in because they need to have a road to get to those. And then I'm just going to do that to connect that. Now here I'm going to go back to well-being, and I am going to put one more in. So those campfires are right outside my housing complex, so they'll be utilized when people come in and out from work, and that will make them happy. All right, so I still am lacking workers. I guess I'm getting there. I'm getting up there in workers. I think at this point what I want to do is I'm going to utilize this field here for crops. So I can put in, I'm not ready to do wheat yet because wheat requires 2 other buildings to actually utilize it. Because you need to make not only power, but you need a grinder, something to grind the wheat. Then you need the baker. So staying into the potatoes or the sunflowers is the best way to go. I'm thinking just more potatoes. Let them just eat potatoes for a little while still. If I go to this, so this farm only reaches to here, to right here. So that's where I'll go with those. So what I'm also going to do is put another farmhouse in. Under food, go to farmhouse. And I think what I want to do is put this farmhouse, I think I want to put it right here. Extend this road. And now it's connected. And then I can also connect, I can connect this road like that. All right. So now I can go all the way to the edge with planting the potatoes because I've got that farm right there. So yes, I've got some trees in there. I'll wait for those to mature. My guy will cut them down. And then those, I could go in here and have my guys manually cut them down here under demolishing. I could go in here and remove these trees manually. I'm not going to do it, but I am going to delete. I am going to delete this guy, this lumber jack, because I'll just build another one when these trees mature. So what I need to do is make another lumberjack to eat up these trees down here, or cut down these trees. All right, so I got all these trees that I have access to now. And let's go to lumberjack. So the end of the road, the end of the district is right there. So you got to keep in mind that they only let you place buildings within a certain radius of your headquarters. If you want to go outside that radius, you got to make a separate district. And that's a whole different thing. So we're just going to go to the very end of the district. And actually, I'll be able to shorten this length when I put a bridge here and I put a bridge here. But for now, because I've got the roads going all the way around here, the district ends right there. So that doesn't really hurt me because that covers most of the trees that are left on this corner. So I'm going to actually put 2 lumber flags in. And then again, I have to tell the system I want to cut these down. I want to cut all these down. So those guys will do that. Now, what we want to do now is make a forester, or we have to research it. It's the forester. I have 117 science points. It requires 60. So we're going to research it. And what I want to do is I'm going to put it right here. And what's going to happen is when I build that, I'm going to want my guys to plant trees. So when it gets built, it's going to say, do you want to plant trees? And I'm going to say, for now, I'm going to go to trees, and I want it to plant the pine. The pine's the best one to plant if you're looking for something to give you good returns. Yes, it takes the pine takes, I think, 7 days to mature. No, it takes 12 days to mature. The birch only takes 9 days. I go with the 12 days because the birch only returns one log, where the pine returns two logs. So I've only done this basic amount right here for now, just to give the guys something to plant, because I do have to get rid of all these trees. So that's just going to get me going. Then I'm going to go here. It just will, when this gets built and it's get a worker, it'll have this small little field. Eventually, we're going to be growing trees all through here, because trees are going to be so important to us when we get into building robots or the little cog. So what I did is I'm going to be building a bridge across that by putting those in. And that connects, and then I'm going to have to do the same thing here. Now they do have an option where you can actually put a bridge in, but I don't like the bridges. That's these here, suspension bridge, costs 100. I just find that these are better. I just enjoy putting these in, and it works out for me. So right now, that they've built that extra housing that I wanted. So what's slowing me down here? I've got plenty of water. I've got plenty of wood. I'm at max wood capacity, because I don't have a stockpile, and I don't need to stockpile it right now. I'm good with just having a cap at 20. Plenty of food. I got berries. I got cooked potatoes, and I've got planks. So right now, I think what I'm looking at is just building. I've got 5 people available to me. Let me put 4 in builders. So now I've returned. I had reduced this to 1 builder. Now I got 4 builders in here. That leaves me still with 2 adults to use. One of them will go into the forester, and then obviously one will go into this lumber field. Oh, you can see how I extended the path. Look at that. So remember the path ended right here, but you can see I've extended it. So if I do more road, I only can go that far because there's berries in the way. But yeah, I was able to extend it by building these here. Even though these are not built yet, the system recognizes the fact that when those are built, my district has got extended, because it's a shorter path here than the path that came all the way around. All right, folks, well, that's where we're at. Just keep in mind, this is a work in progress. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a little bit of work on this outside of videotaping it, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you the evolution of the next phase of what I can do with this town. It's really simple. It's a really fun game, and I'll be adding it to my Time Waster series. Well, thank you for joining me. This has been the Tarkis Zone.